Hello, I'm Amanda Campbell, and I'm a parent of two hard of hearing children. Our journey as parents of a hard of hearing child began in June of 2014 when our son Micah was born. He failed his newborn hearing screening in both ears, and we followed the protocol and had the repeat screening, and then followed up with an audiologist 6 weeks later when he had his first ABR. It was at that point he received his bilateral sensorineural moderately severe hearing loss in both ears, and we were given a lot of information that day. There was a lot of parent education that occurred, but I will tell you honestly that it just didn't stick. Just because our son became diagnosed with a hearing loss didn't mean that we all of a sudden gained audiology degrees or hard of hearing teaching degrees. And so there were all of these new terms and new services and new professionals and all of this entire world that we had never navigated before. My husband and I are both engineers by education and degree, and so this became a new study focus for us. But we did find that the process of navigating the resources and to actually fully understand how we needed to be incorporated into this process to make sure that we were being the parents that he needed us to be for his journey. We first met Kara and Mary at the South Carolina Deaf and Hard of Hearing Educational Partnership Summit. They had a booth set up, and so I signed up to receive their newsletters and email communications. And this is how we found out about some classes that they were offering for families. And we attended one of those in January of 2016. And as our son came to the transition point from South Carolina's BabyNet and the early intervention programs into the school district, we were faced with new challenges and a new environment where the interventions for Micah were family focused and family centered, and we were key players in his intervention and in his education to the school system, where we were introduced again to new terms and new definitions and a system that was quite intimidating. So enter Kara. She came to our house, and she and I sat at my kitchen table and we drank tea, and she gave me a book that they had developed with Beginnings, and it explained everything: the audiology terms, the levels of hearing loss, our rights and roles as parents, and everyone else that's on our son's team, and what role that they should play and fill as part of his team. I'll never forget, she sat and listened to Micah, and she was just so encouraging about his possessive S's that he had just acquired with all the language work that we have been doing, and she was encouraging me as well, just by watching him. Her passion for teaching was just obvious, both with Micah and with me. She came and walked through the IEP process, through a series of meetings. She explained the process, where our trouble spots could be, the differences in qualification criteria for early intervention versus the school system, and she gave me a bound notebook and that walked me through all the information that I needed to gather and keep for him and through his entire school career. Actually, I showed the book that she gave me to my husband, and he read through all of the information, and he's read that book multiple times since then, and he's always commenting on what a valuable resource that it was, and how he wished that we had had that 2 years prior, when Micah was first diagnosed. Kara, with Beginnings, she walked us through the entire process. She came to every IEP meeting with us, and she sat there as our advocate, and her expertise and experience helped us navigate this whole process. She helped us prepare for each of the next meetings. Once we would finish with an IEP meeting, we debriefed afterwards and talked through, what went well, what didn't go well, how we felt about where the road was traveling, and then she helped us prepare for the next meeting so that we knew how to best advocate for our son. Our daughter was born last fall, and she was also diagnosed with a sensorineural hearing loss in both ears. And even though we'd even been through this before, we're finding that her hearing loss has its own signature. It's unique as well. And so there are still questions that come up and different things that we are learning with her that are different than what we did with our son. And so Kara's consistent relationship with us has just allowed us to ask those questions and process the things that we need to do differently for Mia. And I just can't speak more highly of Beginnings and all that they've done for our family. Over the course of the past couple of months, I've ran into a couple of people while I was with the children. And if you have two children with hearing loss that wear hearing aids, you get a lot of questions in public. But these ladies actually approached me because their children have hearing aids, and they wear hearing aids as well. So as I asked about their children and they began to tell me their story, they told me about how they felt lost and they weren't sure exactly what to do next for their child, or the questions that they were encountering, but they couldn't find the answers that they needed. So in both cases, I shared with them about Beginnings. With our vast wealth of information that's available digitally, these families needed what I needed, and they needed a person that would come and sit at their table, listen to their questions, and have the expertise to guide them to the right information for their family and for their family's needs and for the choices that they have made for parenting and educating their child. And Beginnings does that. Their parent education outreach is just key to success for the families and especially for these children. We, as parents, we're the chief of the tribe of professionals that serve our kids, and we're the driver of that bus. And Beginnings empowered us and helped us feel confident that we could be our child's best advocate, and we could make sure that everybody was on the same page and heading in the direction in which we knew our child needed to go. Kara called me a few months ago and asked if we could help with a last-minute marketing thing for Beginnings. There was no question, absolutely no question. With everything that she and Beginnings has done for us,